Hello again, here we go. I've got 15 minutes. This camera will run out in 15 minutes. What I'm going to do is do what we did with the fruit, but with, hope you can see that. I'm going to paint a monochrome grisaille of a plaster cast. And that's the picture I'm using. And one that you can use. Hopefully I can see that. Yeah, I can a little bit. So what I'm going to do is, as I said, do what I did with the fruit. But once I get that done, I'm going to invent some flesh tones for it. And so instead of adding local color to fruit, we will add local color to a face. But I'll just make it up. I mean, this is a demonstration I often do in class. So we might as well do the Grisaille thing as well. This is really just repetitive, but perhaps it gives you an idea of how how I'm using 2, or in this case even 3 brushes to put that first wash. Now I didn't put I could have put a swatch from dark to white, black, almost black to white, with gradations in between, but I'm not doing that. I'm just putting down my first wash, which is fairly light over everything that I perceive to be in shade, and that is much of the picture. And of course I'm going to soften edges again. I'm going to soften edges here. I don't know whether we'll do this with every subject matter, landscape, we've done it with still life, with fruit, landscape. Well, here's the figure. I know this working in monochrome washes is wonderful for life drawing. I've had great fun doing that at times. I'm just putting a tone over everything that I perceive to be in shade. And soften the edges. There's a soft shadow up here. So I'll have 15 minutes to do this monochrome Grisaille. Maybe I'll even get it, what's the time here? Maybe I'll even get it done in time to quickly add the local color on top, but I doubt it. Unfortunately, painting is a bit time consuming. Everything on that side of the face is in shadow. Kaboom. Gone. And now something to note here is you know, I'm looking at the eyes. There's a tiny little bit of light catching the bottom of the eyelid. You know, when the light is overhead, I mean, if we were in a studio situation, I would get everybody to look at each other and note that in fact, very little light strikes the, rarely does light strike the eyeball. Notice I can't think and chew gum. I can't speak and chew gum at the same time, or paint at the same time. There's a little bit of light touching that. You know, possibly there's a bit of light touching the top one, but not enough for me to to give it credence. Generally, the eyes are in shade. There's a tiny little bit of light catching the bottom lip. Tiny little bit of light. Oh, you know, it's tough for me to if I was using a lighter wash, I wouldn't include it. But it's a tiny bit, you know, because of the value structure that I have, you know, I'm starting fairly dark. I'm considering it in light. Even a little bit of light on the top of the nose. Strangely, that's often the case. Not light dark, sorry. Whoops! Again, I'm using a mixture of ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. Now, sometimes I adjust the mixture, like I'll make it bluer. Some of the demonstrations on the explainer handout I did one of Batty from Blade Runner, and I made that very blue because the overall tone of the photograph I was using for reference was very blue, so it seemed to make sense to use blue. So there's my first wash almost done, and as you can see, there's very little white of the paper left. There's a sense of chiaroscuro of the light emerging, the lit form emerging from a shadowed background. I'm already losing the pencil sketch that I made. Now, before class, any class, you should have all your pieces of paper sketched up with what you're going to paint, because otherwise you will spend a lot of the class sketching, you know, drawing, and this is a painting class, and you probably want to paint rather than draw. I mean, I would prefer to be painting real objects, but we're doing this class virtually, and so it makes sense for me to paint one of the faces or heads or whatever that I'm going to provide you. Okay, there. So there is, hope you can still see this, there's that image there, and here is the actual thing. Now let's see if I can note some things. I'm going to dry this out momentarily with a hairdryer, and let me just see here. Look at the, can you see there, I hope you can, the bounce light under the chin. Now that's in shadow, and so I've put a shadow tone over everything. I decided that the lip wasn't in shadow, but I may have to knock that back, and even the chin. The only light that is striking anywhere near the eyes, actually that's off a little bit, oh well, is on the lid. I may have to just knock it back a little bit more. In there is just the bottom lid. But you can see light, bounce light in here. And that's because light is coming down, striking in here, the chest of the cast, and bouncing back up again. And you can see it illuminating under here. And so I will, with my next wash, I'll keep that a little lighter. I better get moving because I only have 15 minutes on this camera before the video cuts out. So just quickly. Okay, back at it. I'm going to now put another wash on top. Gosh, I'm running out of time here. But you'll see it in the next video. You'll see it finished in the next video. Let's see if I can at least get one more wash on. And I'll probably do another one. I don't want to make it too dark, but I will because of this is an exercise. And I'll tend to push it. There we go. So now I'm coming in here. Now I notice on the original it's actually, interestingly, it's actually light. I mean, it's a beautifully lit. You know, obviously a photographer has taken some effort to light it. And the background is lighter on this left side. And that's because part of the hair in here is actually darker. And so it's beautifully, the actual photograph is beautifully orchestrated, you know, so I don't have to worry about orchestrating nice gradations quite as much as I might otherwise. So I'm coming in here on the hair. There's bits of detailing. Maybe I'll avoid that for now. I'll come back to that later so that I can do some work on the face. And then you'll see it in the next video because this one will probably cut out. Yes, the background gets a little bit lighter in here, and then the hair is darker against the background. So I'm going to keep that a little bit light here. Let it go a little light. There and there. And there. You can't really see much of the ear. So a little bit there, a little bit there. And the side of the face is quite dark in there. But once we get down into here, it's all dark in here. I'll soften this. And dark in there, but it's lighter down. And the lips, the bounce light actually catches the bottom of the lips. the top, or the top bit of lip is actually darker than the bottom lip. No, lighter than the bottom lip, sorry, because, we'll catch that next pass, because of this reflected lighting. There's a dark line around the mouth, and then it's dark down in here. It's hard to be too controlling with watercolor. Watercolor tends to go all over the map. And we're quite dark in here. And I'm just going to leave the hair alone, but I've got to catch the shadow under here.